Okay, so this word is inspired by a song, and this week, well, the Lord had already confirmed this song to me before, but this week my sister was singing the song out loud, and it really just, you know, I just felt in my spirit that the Lord was really speaking through that song. And so I want to share the lyrics and kind of just share, like, kind of, the revelation of what your spouse is feeling right now. So it says, oh, and the song is called Crush by David Archuleta. And so this is kind of how they're feeling. It says, I hung up the phone tonight. Something happened for the first time. Deep inside, it was a rush. What a rush. What a rush. So, um, they've had a time of being with you. They've had a time, whether it was a conversation or a friendship or even a relationship, but they've had a time of being with you, and they're kind of just saying like something happened for the first time, and they're saying deep inside it was a rush, so they felt something when they were with you. Then it says, because the possibility that you would ever feel the same way about me, it's just too much, just too much, just too much. So they're kind of like overwhelmed in a way of like, could you really like them as much as they like you? Could you feel the same way towards them? Like, is that really a possibility? And it's just like kind of blowing their minds a little bit because they have come to this place where they have very strong feelings for you. So it says, why do I keep running from the truth? All I ever think about is you. You've got me hypnotized, so mesmerized. And I just got to know. So with the part that says, why do I keep running from the truth? All I ever think about is you. So, they were probably in this place where they just weren't in a place where they're ready to accept the fact that you actually are the person for them. So they probably were in a place of like denial or just not fully embracing what God is doing. But God is kind of bringing them to this place where it's like, listen, this is what it is, you know. And so then it says, all I ever think about is you. So, already talked about the fact that they're thinking about you. This line says, all I ever think about is you. So it's not like they think about you every so often, but it's like you're on their minds, like on a regular basis. Like you're on their minds constantly. So then it says, you got me hypnotized, so mesmerized. So they're just they're very into you. When you're in that place of being mesmerized, it's like just in a it's just this different state. You're just really like in the zone of like this is all that it is, and like they just feel that way about you. So they just want to know. It says, do you ever think when you're all alone that we could be, where this thing could go? Am I crazy or falling in love? Is it real or just another crush? Do you catch your breath when I look at you? Are you holding back like the way I do? 'Cause I've tried and tried to walk away, but I know this crush ain't going away. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ain't going away. So, um they're just like, so when they're alone, they've thought about, you and them and like what you both could be. And so they're wondering like, when you're all alone, do you think about us too? Um, and they're also just like, am I crazy or am I falling in love? Because they have never really felt this way about someone before to this point, and it's not something that's going away. So they're just like, am I falling in love or am I just crazy? And so when it says, do you catch your breath when I look at you? Because there's really something about like when you look at them, it's like they they kind of lose their breath a little bit. It's just like you're breathtaking. So they're kind of wondering like, do you catch your breath when I look at you? Like, do you feel the way I feel when we're like in each other's presence? And it says, because I've tried and tried to walk away. So they have tried to like let this thing go. They've tried to kind of forget about you. They've tried to maybe distract themselves or move on, but they've tried, but they just can't, because they know that, you know, the crush that they feel towards you is not going away. And God has allowed that because God has placed this love in them for you. So then it says, has it ever crossed your mind when we're hanging, spending time, girl? Are we just friends? Is there more? Is there more? So I think there was this other time where the Lord was confirming where they've been just like, you know, we can't be just friends because the way that it feels is just like, it feels like something different. It feels like something like more. Like if we were ever to just stay friends, like it just wouldn't feel comfortable because of the feelings that they have. So like when they've spent time with you, you know, just hanging out with you, you know, they've just been like, have you ever thought about us being more than friends? And so this would really apply if you are like friends at this time, but you know, they've been thinking like, what if we took things to the next level? That's why it says, is there more? Is there more? And it says, see, it's a chance we've got to take because I believe that we can make this into something that will last forever. That will last forever. So yeah, like I was saying with the other time, the other word, um, they are willing to take this risk. And they know that there's a possibility of things not working out, but they're walking by faith, and they're just trusting that, you know, if God has shown them you, if God has made a way for them to come to you, that God can make a way for you to be together. And so they're willing to take that chance. It says, because I believe that we can make this into something that will last forever. And so even with like the other word with like thinking about you, they're saying like they've been thinking about forever, you know, and so they believe that this connection with you can become something that lasts forever. So they're really thinking about forever with you, and they don't want to imagine a life without you. So then it repeats the chorus again, and then the bridge says, why do I keep running from the truth? Why do I keep running? All I ever think about is you. You've got me hypnotized, so mesmerized, I just got to know. And then it repeats the chorus again. So yeah, it just keeps repeating, but that's essentially what the message of the song is. Um, they're just wondering if you think about a future together like they do, and they're trying to just really like take it all in. So they've been in a lot of thought, you know, like asking these questions. Am I crazy or falling in love? Is it real or just another crush? You know, they're really processing all of this. And so they're wondering like, you know, and then it says, are you holding back like the way I do? So they've been holding back, like these feelings that they've had for you have been suppressed. It's been hidden under the rug. They've tried to keep you from seeing how they really feel. And that might be why you might have felt like, do they even care about me? But under all that behind all that they've been holding back, there's a lot um, of deep emotion. And so they're also like, are you holding back like the way I do? Because they want to give you so much love. And in a sense, you have been holding back because, you know, the Lord has, you know, called you to wait on His timing and trust in Him and follow His instructions. And, you know, like deeper levels of love require deeper levels of commitment. And so, you know, until there is that established, like, I want this to last forever, you can't give them all your love, you know? But that's really what this is leading into. And so they are, you know, when they do come forward because they want to take this chance and they're going to take this chance, they're going to want to, you know, give you, just pour this love out to you and show you like, this is how I really feel, and I want to spend forever with you, and do you want this too? And then it's, just up to you to respond in, the way that God wants you to respond. But this is how they're feeling. If you've been wondering, like, how are they feeling? Are they thinking about me? They have a crush and it's not going away. And they have definitely been thinking about you, and they want to make this last forever. They are definitely in love, and they just really want to know, like, do you feel the same way? So that's pretty much it for this word. Be blessed in Jesus' name.